A whisper stirs where water's pathways wind, through copper coils and tanks by design lined. It waits for mist, for flow, for fated air, to slip unseen into the lungs' despair. But this is not a tale of one alone. Each stage is born where triads set the tone. A pathogen, a host, a world in flux. 3 gears engage, and breath becomes the crux. One opens gates, another holds the line, the third distorts the rhythm into sign. Together they compose what fate allows, and twist the arc through hidden, binding vows. A storm of droplets rides a quiet stream, too small to block, too real to be a dream. They pass the throat and settle deep inside, where surfactant and silence coincide. No symptom sounds the call, no sign betrays that breath has brought a risk in silent haze. But here begins the probabilistic game, where physics, load, and timing stake their claim. The more that land, the more the cells engage, and some may fall despite their guarding rage. If .ICM prevails, a breach is made, and colonization's ground is firmly laid. Now tucked within the macrophage's shell, the bug begins to weave its hidden spell. It cloaks its vacuole in host disguise and grows unseen behind the body's eyes. The chamber bends to serve the bug's demand, a mimicry too subtle to withstand. And as the host becomes a crowded den, it bursts, releasing kin to rise again. Each lytic breach resets the weighted scale. More hosts infected where the last ones fail. The field is primed, the floodline starts to spread. A war begins before the first is dead. The breach is felt. The signals blaze and cry, as neutrophils descend from blood to sky. They throw their fire with oxidizing breath, but every strike compounds the path to death. TLRs and complement alarms arise, drawing more troops beneath inflamed skies. Each flare for help becomes a wound anew, a loop that spirals far beyond its due. Endothelial walls, once tight, now break, and flood the lung with plasma, sweat, and ache. To breathe now means to tax a failing gait, the triad locked in self-propelling state. Now fever walks where silence once had laid, and shadows bloom across the X-ray's shade. The breath runs short, the heart begins to race. A diagnosis stares the world in face. No longer ghost, the illness takes its form. The triads fuse into a single storm. The structure breaks, the gases will not flow. Collapse defines the edge of what we know. In labs, in signs, in saturations full, the syndrome stands with name and stakes and call. Each breath now speaks of choices made too late, and pulls the lungs toward their final state. Here hangs the scale between return and end, where speed and strength of therapy must bend. The drugs must pierce the cell where Legion hides, or all that fights may simply fan the tides. If kill is swift, then fire begins to fade, and neutrophils retreat from what they made. But lag or miss or choose the wrong keyhole, and flames consume the body, breath, and soul. 3 forces turn the wheel: drug, kill, and peace. All must align for chaos to release. But slip just one and spiral seals the fate. The lungs fall silent, far beyond too late. This isn't just infection's random spin. It's feedback carved on circuits deep within. A single node can shift the arc entire, or miss its mark and light the whole on fire. Each stage is clockwork, wound in triad gears. Their mesh defines the pace of loss or tears. The map is known, though futures still are blind. Each breath becomes a lever on the mind. So mark the gates, the flows, the breaking chain, and act before the warning comes in vain. For once the gears align beyond control, no drug can turn the silence back to whole.